all of the emergency management folks, our first responders, and obviously elected officials. Thank you all for being here. It's late yesterday, this Tropical Storm Hermine, it crossed out of Texas into Oklahoma, and obviously leaving in its wake some very serious flooding, tornado damage in the Dallas area as well. It appears that the valley of Texas wasn't as impacted as we were afraid could have been the case there. But today I'm issuing a disaster declaration for 40 counties in Texas, including Bell County. This county has been particularly hard hit, as John and myself and Nim Kidd, who is our head of our emergency management. Many of you recall for a very long period of time, Jack Colley had that position, and unfortunately we lost Jack this last year, and he is replaced by a very, very capable individual who was in training by Jack at that particular point in time. I think all of us can say that we were in training under Jack Colley. He was quite a character and a very, very capable man. But I'll have Nim available to answer some questions about the search and rescue operations that went on yesterday, ongoing operations from the standpoint of meeting the needs of immediate needs of people. We heard in our briefing some of the immediate needs that are there, and Nim's going to be coordinating that, flowing back through Judge Burroughs' office for that one point of contact from the standpoint of, you know, what's next, whether you're a residential owner or an apartment dweller that's lost your belongings, or a business owner, and particularly as we go through the process of any dollars that start to flow, whether it's SBA or whether it's some other types of dollars, that will be our source. But we got a lot of Texans that are in shelters now. The number of people that were moved out of their residence were pretty substantial. A lot of families just sorting through their belongings right now. These are very difficult times for those families, and we understand that. And the great news is we got a lot of very, very capable men and women in this state. And I want to say thank you to the first responders and to some very heroic actions yesterday. And as late as this morning, as Richard and I were talking on the phone, there was a rescue going on at that particular point in time. Our Division of Emergency Management, as I said, there were multiple rescue operations yesterday. There were a lot of lives saved. And you know, as the prospect of those search and rescue operations took shape, as we realized that this storm was going to be substantially more broad and impactful than we originally thought, I activated a number of resources, including our Texas National Guard personnel, assets, including 10 high-profile vehicles. I think we put 2 UH-60s, the Blackhawks, in operation as well. We had numerous state agencies. Of course, you see the DPS out in force when you have an event like this, but our Parks and Wildlife, TxDOT, of course, numerous volunteer organizations, they worked around the clock. There's a lot of people in this room who haven't had any sleep in the last 24 hours, and again, dealing with the impact of this storm. Thank you for your service. As usual, our emergency response community, they answered the call, and they performed with distinction, as they always do. Our Texas Task Force 1, their swiftwater rescue. Nim was part of that back in the day when he was down in San Antonio, so he's got intimate knowledge about how that operation. As a matter of fact, I think you were in New York City when 911 occurred with Texas Task Force 1. So again, he has a very broad portfolio of coming in as our new emergency management director. Judge shared with you, we just got through with a aerial survey of a small part of the damage, and NIM was also on the flight in. As we go out, we'll also be working our way back down south and taking a look at some of that, probably going over your precinct. County judges play such an important role in our structure in the state, whether it's just the everyday management of the county's business, but particularly when there is a disaster as we're facing. Judge Burroughs has been providing that leadership to the county's first responders, and keeping that line of communications open with the mayors and the police chiefs and the fire chiefs and the other folks. We surveyed the damage from the Department of Public Safety's helicopter, and we saw some very serious damage. As a matter of fact, Armstrong, that's over in your Armstrong Road, the bridge out over there, and you know, I mean, it's amazing power of nature to be able to take out that much asphalt and just the mass of earth that was moved. And one of the things that I want to remind people is that although the sky is blue and the rain has subsided, the danger hadn't passed yet. There is still a lot of water moving, and particularly in the low water areas. Do not go around those barricades. It is vitally important. It can make the difference between life and death. If there are barriers across the road, I don't care how big your pickup truck is, how good a driver you think you are, do not go around those barriers. Turn around. Don't drown. That needs to be the mantra for the next 24 to 48 hours until we see these waters subside. In the days to come, there are going to be a lot of businesses and families that are assessing the damage of this storm from Brownsville all the way to Wichita Falls. And they're going to be working to pick up the pieces of their lives and move forward. It's what Texans do. Our prayers are obviously with those individuals, particularly the family members who have lost a loved one. You know, one life lost is too many, but we are very grateful to those brave first responders who were out in the middle of this storm saving lives. And they did indeed make a difference, and they ensured that we didn't lose more lives. If experience tells us anything, we still 60 days to go in a hurricane season, and we're going to have more storms. We know that. But the fact is, Texans are going to be ready. We got the finest emergency management team in America. I don't think there is a state better prepared anywhere to deal with these types of events. We've proved it year in and year out, and we take care of our own. And Congressman, I want to say thank you for all of your work, and I know as we go forward, whether it's dealing with some of the agricultural issues that we're going to face. In the meeting, we talked about the power of a storm like this on the agricultural community. The miles of fence that are going to be down. I'm sure there are cattle scattered. There are going to be people starting cattle for weeks. And water gaps and gates and just some massive damage, county roads. So there's a lot of work out there to do. But I've got great faith that we'll overcome this, as we always do, and go forward.